But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. You know something? You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. Because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. Yeah.
Okay, welcome back. I've got a image here that I want to bring to your attention here. This was actually given to me by one of my mentors, and this is actually this is mind-blowing. This is mind-blowing, and I am getting ready to challenge everything you've ever thought you knew about Mother Earth. Okay. I got the picture like this, and a few, I don't know, was it even an hour or so later, I went back to go try to find it, and YouTube had already taken it down. And after you watch this video, you'll know why. This is actually a satellite image that was leaked that had gotten out, and my mentors somehow got a hold of it, sent me a copy of it, and asked me if I would take a look at it. And I have been working with image and graphics and things like that all of my life, and editing and, you know, all that good stuff. And anyway, I know what I'm doing when I'm looking at a lot of pictures like this. So my objective is to see if this thing is fake or if it's legit, and why do I come to that conclusion. So first thing we did, we took the original image here and just try to clear it up a little bit, just with that one little filter there. If you notice the two, we're not alternating anything, we're just clearing up the fuzziness. Okay, now when he first sent me this picture, he said this was Earth, okay, and this is the actual ice wall around the Earth, like you know, a lot of people believe. The actual, when you start to look into it and you start to clear it up, okay, like we were doing here, got it really a lot sharper, you begin to notice that this is not ice. This is land. There's lots of land. You can really see up here in this area right here. Let's see if there's any way I can zoom in on this here. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, this is land. This is all land out there. That's land. That's land. You know, look at all the green. There's land everywhere out there. This is water, of course. It matches the blue. All of this is land. Mountains, land. This is the actual, and what is that thing called? Terra Antarctica or something. I'm not really sure. The mountain that goes through there. But anyway, yeah, that's not ice. And if you look at the ice wall, I mean, really look at the ice wall, then this is the ice wall right here. This little bitty strip. Let's see if we can get closer. Aha. You see what I'm saying? This is what you're seeing when you see these ice walls. And that doesn't look very big, but you got to understand these are miles and miles and miles across. Thousands, probably. Hundreds, if not thousands of miles. So, right there. It looks like a little spot, but it's actually, there's a lot going on here. So what we're going to do is take a closer look, and I'm going to kind of give you some ideas of my analysis on just, you know, some notes that I took, and let's just kind of take a look at it and see what's what here. Anyway, this is the actual image of Earth. Now, one of the first things I wanted to do is to make sure this was actually even a let's see, what I would call a satellite image. Okay, that's the first thing I wanted to look at after we kind of just did the contrast with the actual image. Now, the thing about satellite images is that they are actually made up of many images. Okay, it wouldn't be like just one shot taken, boom. Okay, and of course satellites aren't what we say they are, what we think they are. There's, you know, more to it like that. They are what they are, but they're not what they tell us they are. but there are means of them being able to get these pictures and images to us from higher up, and it is low Earth orbit, but it's high enough to get an idea of what's going on. Okay, what I want to do, first thing, let's just zoom in, and if you start to zoom in on this image, the closer you get in, you begin to see that there are these images. I mean, these actual lines. These are squares. If you look at that, you see this image is made up of squares, and I'm going to tell you just how many are here in a moment. Okay, so what I started to do, I just kind of started grabbing my grid line here, all right, and started bringing it down and lining it up with every single square on the pictures, every line. You can see the line. See right here? This is a line. I grabbed the grid line, lined it up. You can see right here, that's a line. I grabbed the grid line, lined it up. Okay, I did this over and over and over on this whole map. And this map, this image actually is legit. I would say it's legit for the simple reason that it is comprised of over 675 images. Okay, it is comprised of over 675 images. Okay, and let's see if we can zoom in on this, anywhere on this map here. You can on this picture or image, you can zoom in on. Let's see, let's kind of bring it over here out of the way a little bit. Like some more of this other land somewhere, anywhere. Let's see if we can zoom in a little more. And the more you zoom in, you can kind of start seeing those lines. I see them really, really clear. I don't know if you can see them on your computer, but the lines are very clear. See, there's one right there. Okay. You know, where's one at? Like, you can see one there. Here, that's one right there. You can see one running through here. You can see them running the horizontal ones here. Grab the grid line, bring it down. Okay, so what I did, let me show you. Let's get rid of these little grid lines here. Is I gridded the whole picture. Bam. Okay. That is all of the images. This is 675 plus images I've counted here. That gives us an idea of just how large the Earth is and what's going on with Mother Earth here. Now, we're going to take this off for a moment and kind of look at a few things. I love, if you notice here, there is the actual sun. There's the actual moon. That's a very, very, very close sun. Okay, right here. This is the sun. Of course, this is the moon. And the reason why I say this is a legit or very questionable, let's do that. If you look at the image, let's see, let's do this. Kind of bring that over a little bit. If you look here, all of this water is a lot lighter than this water over here. This is all dark, this is all dark, this is all dark. This definitely signifies a light source. Okay, because you can see it covers like half of the Earth here, which tells me that sun's close. So it's obvious the sun and moon are definitely the same size. What I did, I took and I actually made a copy of the sun right here. I duplicated it, okay, and I put it over here on top of the moon. It's the same image that I just duplicated, and they are both the same size. Okay, you can see the sun is lit up, having this, so it's lighting up half of the Earth there. All right, now where this really starts getting deep is, you know, people start asking, well, why? The why question. We have to understand what this is all about, and when you really start looking into it, it's really pretty mind-blowing, just to be honest with you. I'm fixing to share with you a video where the so-called first astronauts of one of the first Apollo missions had claimed to have gone to the moon, and they didn't. That's all. It was all staged. It was all hoaxed, and I've got proof of that. I'm not even going to even think about debating that. But the point is, there's proof that they were just right here above Earth, okay, and they actually was taking a picture. Okay, we got to understand that this is bird's eye view. We're up looking down over the earth. All right, you got to adjust your thinking, because the earth has been portrayed to you as a ball, and also standing up facing you instead of you being above it looking down. Okay, and what they did, the astronaut had, or the whole crew, the ones that were doing it, had darkened the window, or the actual room where they took the picture of, low Earth orbit, okay? And they just took a picture out of the back of the window, okay? That looked like this. All right, this is, let's say this is the window, okay? All right? This is the window in the back of the aircraft. It's not a ship, it's a aircraft. It's not a rocket. They're not in outer space. They're in low Earth orbit, X amount of miles up, okay? They open up that back window like that, and they take a picture of Earth. They're straight up above that. Do you understand where I'm coming from? I'm fixing to show you this to prove this, okay? That is the Earth. This is a bird's eye view, okay? However, they take it and stand it up like you're actually looking at it as a straight on. In other words, like that's straight out from you. It's just hanging in the middle of nowhere. Do you see the deception? Okay, this is all deception. So you take that off, you get to see, oh wow, there's a whole lot more land out there. So my question is, what's up with all the land? Okay? What is up with all of this land everywhere? And why do you have every country in the world practically, I want to say, don't quote me on it, but I need to look it up to be sure, so you do your own research. I want to say 50 plus countries that have signed a treaty, the Antarctica Treaty, that no one is allowed in Antarctica. Okay, now let's look at this also.
Because the government has really become interested. I tell you one reason they're interested. It's by far the most valuable, important place left in the world, because it happens to be an untouched reservoir of natural resources.
What are the natural resources there?
Well, we've found enough of coal within 180 miles of the South Pole in a great ridge of mountains. It's not covered with snow, enough to supply the whole world for quite a while.
Well,
that's the coal. Now, there's evidence of many other minerals. We are pretty sure there's oil. Now, that coal shows the bottom of the world. Now, by far the coldest spot in the world. Where that coal is gets 100 below zero in the winter. So we think there's oil there, and there's evidence, probably uranium.
And Robert, is there a competition among other nations to try to get information about Antarctica and possibly to secure some of these resources?
Well, yes. There are now 7 nations very much interested. Russia is interested tremendously. That I'm sure of. Australia has an expedition down there. The Argentine, the Chile, New Zealand, Britain, and so on. As I said, it's the most peaceful place in the world, but I don't think it will be for long because of this intense interest on the part of other nations and this nation.
This latest expedition now on the way is a government expedition, I take it.
Yes, that's the government.
When the Germans got to Antarctica, what they found were massive cities that were highly technological. And these buildings were not just on the surface, they went deep down underground. So they began relocating a massive amount of equipment and personnel to Antarctica, repressurizing these ancient facilities and reoccupying them.
If this is real, all right, if this is real, then Antarctica is not a continent. In fact, Antarctica does not even exist in the truest sense, because they tell you Antarctica is this bit here, and they might do a little bit of strip around and saying that, oh, that's all the little part on the bottom of the earth, on the bottom of the globe. It's just that little chunk right there. No. this piece of land here in South America, north of it down here, what we're calling Antarctica, okay, is not this piece of land over here at the end of going from Australia to this area, okay? Yes, there's snow in different places, all right? And there's no such thing as an east to west this way. East and west is this way, okay? That's the way east and west works. North is in this right here in the center, okay? North is in the center, and south would be any way out, any direction out from that, okay? Now, while we're on this subject, okay, if you go back to the grid, all right, and they say that the United States, I guess it could be measured, and I don't know who they, who really they are, but I went online and did the research, and I typed in how many miles across and what is the size of the United States. And they said it's roughly 2,000 something, so roughly almost right at 3,000 miles across, okay? So if we were to do that, and I were to take this little square here that I made, all right, that's about 3,000 miles across, almost, of the United States, okay? And I think they said it's almost like 1,500 miles up and down, somewhere around there, give or take a few. I need to go back and check my numbers. I should have before I did the video. Anyway, if that's the case, then the sun is probably just a quarter size of the United States. Let's take it here and see if I can move this over for you. Okay, but we don't really know how far up the sun is, okay, in this image, or these images. And we don't know the distance, where the actual picture was taken from. So that's going to be definitely going to be affecting things. But let's say the sun, it's very small, and if it's the size that it is, depending on where it's at, it's probably going to go down and maybe a little bit bigger. But just from looking at here, it may be a quarter of the United States, which would be maybe 1,500, 2,000 miles across, you know. I don't really know, but that's something to think about. And another thing, if you look at it, if that's 3,000 miles, then you have a minimum of 10,000 miles from out of Earth in every direction. This is way more than 10,000, but these little narrow sections here on out, let's see. Okay, easy. 10,000 out, 10,000 miles that way. Okay, let's jump over to this other little thing I want to show you. Let's back it up a little bit. Okay, let's say if this is the Earth, how big is it? How big is it? We don't know because this is just a square. So even if we take just this square, okay, and throw just a little fake circle around it, I'm going to the tips, and Earth being round, and the reason why it's round, we know it's round because we have what we call star trails. Okay, and this is supposed to represent star trails, okay? So if this is the North Pole, is the magnetic center of the Earth, we don't really know how big Earth is, okay? So we do have what we call the star trails here, but this is just a demonstration that star trails rotate above the Earth, okay? Now, let's say, for example, hypothetically, if that is the Earth, how big is that? Well, you can take this here. This is at least 10, 30, 40, 50 thousand. That's just if it's this small. If it's just this small, you've got another, I don't know, 50, 60, 70, 80,000 miles of land in every direction. I don't know, maybe even more if you sit down and start do the calculating and the math and everything. But what if it was this much? Huh? What about that? It's quite possible. We don't know how big the star trails are. It's very possible. Okay? What if the Earth was that big? We don't know. Nobody really knows. But you could still have the star trails above it, right? Star trails. Okay? So what if the Earth is that big? Okay? But this is the only part they're showing us. Huh? It really gets you thinking, won't it? Of course. Of course. So this is speculation right here. I don't really know. That's just a circle I added to it. However, this is a legitimate picture. Just from my experience working with graphics and things all of my life, I would definitely say this is absolutely without a beyond a doubt, no shadow of a doubt, this is actually legit. It got really kind of sharpened up when we, started bringing out the contrast in the picture. There's no effects, there's nothing added to it. This is the actual, there's the original. Yep. There's a little bit of sharpening and contrast, and there's a little bit more contrast and adjusting. And that's about it. So what we're going to do, we're going to go now. I want to take and show you the actual footage, okay? All of this stuff is classified. We were able to get it. It was finally released here and there. I don't know how or what. I don't know. I'm not going to say I know where it came from. I just want to share this with you and see what you think. Again, look at the Earth. Okay. Now look out the back window of the jet airplane. Look at the Earth. And look at the Earth picture out the window. You're actually looking at a window. You're looking at a window. That's where you get your delusion and your deception of Earth. You are looking at a window that creates the Earth that you know. However, this is Earth. Take a good look. This is what you have been taught. Are you ready to find the truth? Let's go.
Though the federal government would have you believe that this is a view of Earth from a distance out of the spacecraft's window as it nears the moon, it is not. What they have ingeniously done is placed the camera at the back of the spacecraft and centered the lens on a circular window in the foreground, outside of which it is completely filled with the Earth in low orbit. The circumference of the window then appears to be the diameter of the Earth at a distance, with the darkened walls of the spacecraft appearing to be the blackness of space around it. That is why they wanted the interior dark and blocked out the sun from entering through the other windows. Here you can see the extruded window, probably 2 inches thick at the bottom. This is because the Earth's shine is coming in at a downward angle. It also causes the Earth to appear to be an irregularly shaped circle, for you are seeing the outside of the window at the bottom and the inside of the window at the top, which together form 2 different sized halves of a circle. Subsequently, this take was never used. As they perfected the shot, a crescent-shaped piece of black material was inset slightly into the window to create the illusion of the Earth's terminator line dividing night and day. It is uncannily convincing. During this segment, intended to be edited and played back later for the worldwide television audience, dated July 18th, 1969, Neil Armstrong condemns himself as he states that he is 130,000 miles out, or halfway to the moon, as the NASA flight log also states on this date, when he is in reality in low Earth orbit of a few hundred miles.
Roger, Houston, Apollo 11. Calling in from about 130,000 miles out.
Here, during another segment, also intended to air after review, Neil Armstrong falsely explains to the viewers how the shot is attained by putting the camera's lens to the window's glass, as it would have to be if they were the claimed distance away from the Earth.
We only have one window that has a view of the Earth, and it's filled up with a TV camera.
If the window was completely filled up with a TV camera, as he stated, then an astronaut's arm would not be able to get between the camera and the window, as it obviously does here in this outtake.
South America becomes invisible just off beyond the Terminator or inside the shadow.
You can also notice how the astronaut operating the camera reacted to the mistake by attempting to pan away from it.
Blue cast, see white bands of major cloud formations across the Earth. And you see
This is a segment that they believed wasn't even being recorded, much less suitable for broadcast, for the lens was being zoomed out and the scene was being changed to that of an interior of the astronauts at work, and apparently the stop button popped back up on the recorder without notice. Here is the diffused work light that they used to see camera controls, but not throw light onto the spacecraft's wall. Here they remove part of the crescent insert. Finally, the iris is opened up and you can see the real location of the camera and the very bright and near Earth out the window. Here is the slate for the 19th of July, and the same shot of trickery on the 19th of July, and then the 20th, and the same misleading shot on the 20th. Later that evening, they were said to be walking on the moon. How can this be when they were in Earth orbit only 9 hours earlier, and the moon is some 3 days' journey away? Furthermore, if they genuinely went to the moon, why would they be faking any part of it? Why this trickery with the window? By faking being halfway to the moon, it becomes apparent that they did so because they could not even go halfway. None of them could have gone to the moon. They only increased their proficiency at staging them.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen, so in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.
Okay, and we are back. I think that just about wraps it up here for me today. I've got a lot going on, and the reason why I was showing you those astronaut footages is because that's what we base our... Here, let me click this right here, you'll see. Right there, that is an actual image that was supposed to be taken from the Apollo 11 mission to the moon, Journey to the Moon mission. And it's fake. It's a hoax. You know, this is what Earth actually looks like. And we put our window, now you know what I'm talking about when I said you look out the window, and that's what Earth really is. Out the window, that's what it is. And here's their image again one more time. That's the real image that they gave us from the Apollo. So, and wrapping things up, my final conclusion is this is a legitimate picture. It's, you know, it is what it is. I'm not putting this out for any kind of arguing or any kind of debating. I mean, you feel free to comment if you want to. Please keep all your comments constructive. This is only released out for you to really look at it and to really open up your mind, you know, open up your eyes to the big picture. There's a lot going on that you don't know. The deception runs deep, the rabbit hole runs deep, and it branches off in many directions. So, anyway, let's go ahead and wrap everything up. I appreciate you, your time, your energy. Please share this with everybody you can. Like, subscribe, get this out to as many people as you can, as quick as you can, because I got a feeling they're probably going to take this down pretty quick because of the information. It's very sensitive, and the powers that be don't really want you to know this kind of information. So, till next time, peace, blessings. Take care.